You're watching the Sporting Time Show with host Doug Thompson. Sponsored by Jewelry Barn and Pawn Shop.
Good evening and welcome to the Sporting Time Show. I'm Doug Thompson, and yes, it is very, very cold outside, but in basketball across the state of Kentucky, it is beginning to heat up as we get into February and postseason play. My co-host this week was on the show a couple of weeks ago as a guest. Now he's the guest host, the head coach of the Warren Central Dragons, William Unseld. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's great. We started talking 2 weeks ago. I had to cut you off because we ran out of time. I'm glad you're back, and we're going to talk about a couple of things this week. One is the West Strader Schoolboy Classic coming up on February 5th, and West Strader, first of all, Hall of Fame broadcaster, really a Hall of Fame person.
Yes. Yeah.
We miss him. But when this started, he was here, and even though he wasn't feeling great, he went to the Classic, stayed there for all the games. But what do you call it? A holiday event, a tournament? I mean, I know it's the West Strader Schoolboy Classic presented by Leachman Buick, but man, it is so highly sought after for teams that want to participate in this thing.
We get calls all the time about teams wanting to play in it. And what it is it's a great classic, a great day of postseason style basketball.
Yes.
And most teams want that late in the year. So we get a lot of calls about teams wanting that. Plus we have a college-sized floor, and it gets you ready for that late season run.
Yeah, and of course, out of the teams, I think there are 8 teams.
Yes.
That represent 6 different regions, 6 or 7 different regions.
Yeah.
Tipping it off first is Bardstown versus Bullitt East. James Brewer, the head basketball coach, who you know very well, always brings excitement. And you were talking about Bullitt East, and then we've got Marion County versus Mayo, the second team. You were talking about a kid on Marion County's team who was just incredible.
James Jewell kid is going to Chipola Junior College, very athletic. It's going to be a good game, them and Mayo. Mayo has Caleb Glenn, who's going to Louisville, and Mayo's really playing well right now. They just beat Covington Catholic, they beat Ballard. And they're on the roll right now. Tim Hayworth, who was at Hopkinsville, has done a great job up there.
Yeah, and then the third game, Owensboro Catholic versus Collins.
Of course, Coach Riley. He's have his team ready to go. And Collins is a really tough basketball team. They have the Kenya Gooden, who's a great basketball player. We played them in the Christmas tournament. We had to go to overtime to beat them. And Kenya Gooden's they have a great basketball player. I think he had 41 a couple weeks ago, 36 before that. He's a great 2-sport star, football, basketball. And he's going to be able to write his ticket in either sport, but that's going to be a great game as well. I mean, you have the funny thing about that is connections. Owensboro Catholic's Coach Riley, Collins has Kenya Gooden. Coach Riley was at LaRue County and Coach Kenya Gooden's father. So it's connection there. But the Gooden kid is a special player. Coach Riley has Jai Webb and Brian Griffin. So he has some special talent. So it'll be a great game.
And then, of course, the primetime game, McCracken County versus Warren Central. Yeah. McCracken County, I think, is 17-1?
17, 18-1,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And, it is going to be a great, great game.
It's the type of game we need. I tell people all the time, it's not about winning or losing that game. You just want to go compete in a tournament type game. Yeah. And you want to be down some, you want to be up. You want to win it, but at the end of the day, you want to, go through some ups and downs so you see what kids will fight through it.
Yeah. And, before we go to break, I don't want to get into the special event that you have at this until you and I come back after my next interview to give the special event enough time. Yeah. But how do people just come and get tickets? At the door?
I think it'll be at the door, but times have changed. I know it'll be online on GoFan. That's where we've been doing most of our ticket sales, I believe. But I'm sure we'll probably have some walk-in sales. Now we haven't had many at our actual home games this year. Yeah. But mostly probably online ticket sales.
And of course, Sporting Times will be there live streaming it. I know Scott Thompson will be there live streaming it as well. We want you there. You need to be at the event if you can be there, because It's very, very exciting. There's some really cool things that you got to see, but you can watch it on stfanclub.com or our app on Roku or Amazon Fire TV, and for us older generation, Facebook Live. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Dee Spencer, the head coach of the Franklin Simpson Wildcats, will join us right here on WNKY NBC 40. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As promised, the head coach of the Franklin Simpson Wildcats, Dee Spencer, is my guest now. Coach, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I was laughing. I was telling Coach Unsel, I think the first time I interviewed you years ago, I called you by the wrong last name, if you remember. I don't know, but I think it was like D. Williams, or I was thinking Billy Williams, Billy D. or whatever. But it is Dee Spencer in person. And I know you haven't been on a show in person for a while. I think we did a Zoom deal back in 2020, which was really just a train wreck that year. But how's it? Before we get to basketball, I want to talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
Since we got two segments, you are Franklin Simpson through and through.
I'm through and through.
I mean, you played two sports.
Three.
Three. Was it basketball, football, and baseball?
Yep.
And then you went on to college, and you came back, and you've been the head coach now 27 years.
Not that long.
since you played. What was it that you gravitated towards basketball, since you were a multi-sport athlete? What was it about basketball that kind of got you going in that direction?
Just the competitive nature. I think my coach, Coach Kington, did a good job of just teaching me the game.
Yeah.
And I love the fast pace of it, man. Just getting up and down the floor and competing, that's what it's all about.
Was it that coach that inspired you to go into coaching, or was it somebody else, or was it a group?
I think it was a group. Group effort. I mean, Coach Shelton was the baseball coach and basketball coach. And then we had Coach James Matthews for pretty much my whole high school career. And then we got a new coach, Coach Rollins. Coach Vance came in my senior year. And then, of course, Coach Kington was the basketball coach the whole time.
And I mean, let's face it, teaching is, to me, it's a special calling. I mean, I have teaching as a profession way up there because what you have to do, what you have to go through. And teaching isn't what it was when I was in school. You got to do a whole lot more.
Right.
And then when you throw coaching on top of that, it's a lot. When you look back on the multiple coaches that you had, did you take pieces and parts of what they did to incorporate into your style today?
No doubt. And they've all had a major impact on me. Yeah. You know, when I got to college, I wrote them all a letter, just thanking them for what they've done for me. And, you know, when I graduated college, I didn't think I was going to get into it, but then I started coaching a little league team, and then just
got the fever.
Yeah, this is what I want to do.
You have had some incredible teams as the head coach of Franklin Simpson. And honestly, Franklin Simpson High School in general, and I've talked to coaches all over the area, is a highly desirable coaching position to get because of the quality of student athletes that come out of Franklin Simpson. Kind of talk about, you know, the kids that you've been able to coach and just the excitement that school brings to the 4th region.
Well, you know, I'm blessed. I got great people that I work with. For one, you know, Matthew, Will Heights, my athletic director, and David Clark, those guys, and make sure that we are getting everything we need. And I mean, it's home to me.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to be there with my kids and just try to help the kids of Franklin. I've been blessed to have a bunch of talent.
Yeah.
You know, of course, Lovin's still playing. We had several other kids go play at smaller colleges, but you know, I just want to be around and to be a good influence on those young men.
We got about 45 seconds. You mentioned David Clark. He was, to me, one of the funnest coaches to watch, especially in postseason. He would really get after. I mean, he would get after everybody.
No doubt.
And if you were a referee, how much fun is it to take over, now you've been the head coach for years now, but he was the coach, now you're the head coach, and you still have the opportunity to talk to him and bounce ideas off of him.
Oh, it's just great, man. He's great to lean on. Just like last night, he told me, Coach, you need to check, just make sure they're boxing out on free throws. Just little things like that. It's good to have somebody to lean on.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind helping at all.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun. When we come back, you and I are going to talk 13th District basketball specifically, talk about the team that you have this year and how you get ready for postseason, which is right around the corner. So stay tuned. More of the Sporting Times right here on WNKY with Coach Spencer. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Of course, Dee Spencer, the head basketball coach at Franklin Simpson, is my guest today. Coach, let's talk a little basketball. First of all, the coaches that I talk to around the region pretty much all say it is tough to win in that gym. Now, I know the old gym was like 110 always, right?
Oh, yeah.
The new gym, what is it about going to Franklin Simpson that makes it so tough to win there?
Well, I don't know. It seems like the other teams shoot the ball well when they come in there. So, the kids just play hard. We try to stress protecting home court.
Yeah.
We got a good crowd. Crowd shows up and supports the boys.
Yes, they do.
We just try to compete every night.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a great atmosphere. One of the players that we talked about off air, Andreas Miller, one of the best players in the 4th region, if not the best. I mean, he's tremendous. You got some young guys that have really showed up this year. I think you've won the last 4 out of 5. You're perfect in the district, 8-2 in the region. Kind of talk to me about where your team is right now, where you want them to be towards the end of February as we get ready for postseason.
Well, right now, man, we're still working on trying to figure out each other's roles. We've had a couple of guys missing, just in and out of the lineup. So everybody's still trying to figure out everything. Like you said, Andres, we feel like he's one of the top players in the region.
Yeah.
We just want him to lead us, and we want those other guys to, just play their role.
Strategy-wise, I know that you like a deep bench. I mean, you like to bring guys in and out. Kind of talk about the strategy that you have as a coach, and does it change based on the personnel that you have,
no doubt.
or how do you do it?
Absolutely. It changes from game to game about who our opponent is, what we feel like our strengths are against that team. In a perfect world, I'd like to get them down the court. I like the guys run. We're playing 9 guys, press a little bit, change the pace of the game.
Yeah.
Our guys seem to do better playing them down the court. Right.
4th region, to me, one of the best regions in the state. I mean, it's always tough. And honestly, in pretty much every sport, it's tough. You're in the 13th district. You just defeated Todd County. You may have them again. You defeated Russellville. Kind of talk about the 13th district and your hopes to get to Diddle, and then where you want to be in that.
We've been fortunate. We played Russellville without Miller and Todd County without Miller. So the guys stepped up and played well. And Todd's been playing well, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're better than what people think.
Yeah.
They play great defense, and the coach done a great job with them. And then Russellville, it's just a matter of them coming together. They lost a couple of kids. And you lose some kids like that. It's just a matter of just getting them all to come together and believing. But we as a team have just got to play hard. Play hard every night. We know Andres is going to score. We just got to get those other guys, Briscoe and Jones, to score with him. And we got Connor Vincent playing well right now. Myler's back. So and those young guys were able to play with those guys out. So that helped those young guys out.
How much do your guys focus on, obviously, the district, but then, getting to Diddle, being able to play at Diddle Arena, to me as a high school athlete would just be an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, that's something they look forward to doing.
Yeah.
But as a team, we've been there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've been there. Now we want to kind of make some noise. We want to make some noise. Those guys have been talking about. We need to win a couple of games. But like I tell them, we just got to focus on the next game, man.
Yeah, it's tough. Basketball is just a juggernaut all season long. Before we leave, we got about 60 seconds, and I don't want to end on a bad note. But what about this play-by-play guy you got? I mean,
Brian Davis?
Brian. I mean, he's guest hosted this show about 6 times. He's crazy funny. But he's having a blast.
Yes. I mean, it's something new for him. We've done something. He's done something that we hadn't seen. He's gotten kids, some of the kids to come on with him and help him. We love Brian, man. We love what he's doing. He's very energetic. He has fun with it. I get to watch the games when I get home and listen to him. Oh man, he's funny.
He is so much fun. We've had him on the radio show. We've had him here, like I said, 6 times. He's just full of energy, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But, Coach, great to have you in studio. Finally,
Yes.
wish you best of luck
Thank
for the
you.
rest of the season, 13th District. Hopefully we get to see you at Diddle Arena. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
All right, want to thank Coach William Unseld, Coach Dee Spencer, and, of course, we're going to come back as William Unseld and I wrap things up right here on the Sporting Time Show. Welcome back. I want to thank Coach Spencer for stopping by. Franklin Simpson, always a tough opponent in the 13th District, making some great noise there. And of course, William Unseld joins me again. Coach, we were talking about the West Raider Schoolboy Classic. Let's hold up the slam dunk belt that someone will win. This thing is heavy.
Yeah.
It's a leather belt with, I guess, rhinestone.
Yeah.
This thing is heavy, and it's amazing to watch these kids participate in the slam dunk competition. But it's a belt like you'd see on WWE or one of the other super wrestling deals that they got going on out there. But this thing is fantastic. You've got the Leishman Buick. You've got BSN Sports, of course, the logo for West Raider Schoolboy Classic. And then, it looks like a piano key thing right there, but it's fantastic.
It is.
Who are some of the student athletes that we need to watch for during the slam dunk competition?
Well, 2 of them I know for sure. Is James Jewell from Marion County, who is an unbelievable athlete, and then Caleb Glenn from Louisville Male, who's already committed to go to the University of Louisville. So you got a high major guy. I mean, he's lights out athletically. He's just a physical specimen. Then we'll have a few of our kids in it from Warren Central, but those 2 especially, they're going to be fun to watch.
This is not a trophy. This is not a plaque. This thing is, if I was a kid in high school and I saw this thing and I was 5'8", I would do my darn to try to jam.
Well, I'm looking at it one myself, so have to dust off the old knee braces and see what I can do.
Well, you can do it. You can definitely do it. All right, so the West Raider Schoolboy Classic is February 5th, Saturday.
Saturday, February 5th.
First game, 11 o'clock. There are 4 games on tap for that day. Come on in and watch these things because it is a super event. Now, I got a hypothesis that I told you off air that I wanted to throw at you.
Okay.
Get your opinion. Look at, we've got 8 teams that are going to advance to the region. Okay. District, for the most part, historically, there are 2 strong teams in a district and maybe 2 teams or even 1 team that isn't.
Yeah.
Will there ever be a time that we do away with district play and you take the 8 best teams out of the 4th region and put them in the tournament, 4th region tournament, and then have a bracketed system where the loser goes to the loser bracket? But you have, because look at, in the 14th district, you've got 3 teams that could be in there. They're not going to get it. You're only going to get 2. Is that a wild dream, or could that ever happen?
I don't see it happening. I mean, you're going to have a lot of people voting the right way for that to happen. And so you got to think about those schools from other districts.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to want to sit home. They want a chance to play a diddle. And it's going to be tough. I mean, not only is it Greenwood, Bowling Green, ourselves, Warren East is playing well, South is playing well. You can get beat by anybody in this 14th on any night.
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening. Well, I don't see it happening in my time coaching. But you never say never, but I seriously doubt it. Well, of course, when I played in the 14th district, it was basically you drew. So
right.
It wasn't seeding, you drew, which was tough. You end up
Yeah.
playing 1 and 2, played a lot.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. Yeah.
you still get a chance now with seeding to get your best 2 teams into the district, put it into the region tournament. Now this year we got a district that is loaded top to bottom. So
is.
somebody's going to be left out. Could be us, could be anybody, but somebody's going to be left out. I mean, that's part of it. You got to win a basketball game.
But historically, like for instance, in the 13th district,
Yeah.
Franklin Simpson,
Yeah.
Logan County has had years. Russellville has had years. Todd County, having a good season this year.
Correct.
But it seems like everybody, it just seems like with the RPI system that they have now,
Yeah.
if they implement that, but I'm never going to be on KHSA to vote for that. But it's interesting because, you want the top 8 teams in a
Yeah.
region tournament.
Yeah, well, you want the best team
Yes.
in your region to represent you at Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
Whoever that may be, you want the best team at all times. You should want the best team to represent your region. Every kid wants a chance to play at Rupp.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you want the best team to represent the 4th region.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of them. So
It's gonna be exciting.
It is going to be. It's going to be a great district tournament. It's going to be. We're fortunate enough to host it this year, so it's
Yeah.
going to be a great district tournament. Like I said, somebody's going to get left home, and it is what it is. And then you get to the region tournament, and then you go from there.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, exciting. We have run out of time, Coach. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks for having me.
February 5th, the West Raider Schoolboy Classic. I can't even lift it up. Check it out. Warren Central High School is hosting it again this year. For Doug Thompson and, of course, William Unseld, have a great week. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Good night.